Mike forgot Towel Day. That's like you forgetting U2 has a new album coming out.
They do?
Yeah, you don't have it? Bono Sings the Blues? It's great. I would say it's their second best album of all time. So you'd have All That You Can't Leave Behind, Bono Sings the Blues, The Joshua Tree, then you'd have Pop, and then Tongue Baby.
Oh, come on, guys. It's so simple. Maybe you need a refresher course. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. Hey, use a coaster, damn it. I don't want rings on my coffee table. Please welcome your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 208. We are Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
We'll guarantee that we will make you laugh within the first 2 minutes of the show.
Yes.
That's our promise to you.
Yes. If not, we'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm just...
That good, huh? Yeah.
I think I might be dehydrated today.
Yeah.
I have trouble going back to work on an odd day.
I do too.
I've been jacked up all day.
Yes.
Because I have to do the stuff that is due on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also had to do the stuff that was due on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Where I screwed up was Friday, I did my Monday stuff. So I already had it.
Right.
But I sent it out, and then I thought, I'm done for the day. And it was like 8:30 in the morning, and I still had stuff that I needed to do for today.
So you had the 3-day weekend problem.
I did.
Well, I had the 1-day weekend problem because last week, my company, we were in Indianapolis. We went to the Indy 500. I was there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for this big honking huge promotional event that we had. And I'm telling you what, I believe there was 350,000 people who attended the Indy 500.
Yeah, so,
I think I met every one of them.
So for people who are confused, Indy is short for Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
It's not the Indiana Jones.
It's the greatest spectacle in motorsports.
Yeah, and it's because it's called the Indianapolis 500 because they have 500 cars in the race.
Is that it, or is that because they go 500 laps?
That's what it is.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they have
An undetermined number of cars goes 500 times around this track.
500 laps.
500 laps.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing in Indiana worth seeing.
Oh, that's not true.
What else is in Indiana?
You can go to Fort Wayne. You can see WOWO radio.
The only thing in Fort Wayne is
there's lots of corn in Indiana.
Dan Quayle Museum.
There is a Dan Quayle Museum in Indiana. Mm-hmm. If you drive through Gary, you can see where Michael Jackson used to live.
He's from Gary, Indiana?
He's from Gary, Indiana.
What?
David Letterman's from Indiana.
Oh, my Lord.
David Lee Roth is from Indiana. I'm from Indiana.
Really?
Yeah, if you go through Lafayette, Indiana, you can see the home where I was raised.
You weren't raised in Tennessee?
No. I lived in Indiana till I was like 3. Then we lived in Virginia before we moved to Tennessee. And then before I finally moved over here to Ohio.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm from the North and the South.
Did you, when you were in Tennessee, did you look at Ohio as the North?
Yes, we did. We really did.
A bunch of damn Yankees up there?
I didn't refer to him as that.
Yeah.
But yes, Ohio was viewed as the North.
Okay.
Yeah, and all my relatives who lived in Indiana talked about my Southern accent, and all my relatives who lived in Virginia made fun of my Northern accent.
Okay.
And I spoke the same way to both people.
Yeah.
And then once I moved to Ohio, friends of mine, like Dave Lay, said, Darin, how come you don't have an accent?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't make anybody happy with that.
I lost mine along the way. So I used to have a very heavy...
I think a lot of people who live this is called the Midwest.
Yeah.
Sort of, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Or is St. Louis the Midwest?
We're close enough to the Midwest to where
if
somebody's mad at us, they can say, oh, you're just a damn Midwesterner.
Yeah.
But not really. I mean, we're not an East Coaster.
No, we're not.
We're not
proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Indianapolis for 5 days.
Yeah.
Okay. We were doing this promotional event. And like I said, I met just thousands and thousands of people.
Okay.
And we had this giant setup there, and people could come through and they could play Plinko. If you play Plinko, then you could win a can koozie, a magnet. You could win a little rubber-looking race car, like a stress ball thing, a backpack, a tote bag. You could win a cooler. We had pencils and magnets and water bottles. We were giving away, we gave away like $24,000 worth of prizes at Plinko. And then you go through and play Plinko, and we had this race car there. You could get your picture taken with the race car.
Was the race car Antenna TV race car?
It was a CW race car.
I don't know what
because the CW is the network that airs the show 100 Days to Indy.
Okay.
So people could have their picture taken with this race car, right? So I was either working behind behind the desk and giving away prizes for Plinko, or I was directing people traffic through the photos and asking them to stand on the orange line. And people would say, how much is it to get a picture? I said, well, it's free. $7 if you want the picture taken with me. That was funny.
That's a joke, boy. You missed it.
Everybody I told that said they liked that. And then one person, well, come on. And wanted me. And I said, no, I'm fine. Yeah.
Plinko is where you
take the little chip and you put it at the top of the board, and it drops down through the pegs, and it either lands on the A, M, E, R, I, C, or A. And depending on what letter it lands on, it depends on what prize that you get.
See, I would have thought that the game in Indiana would be cornhole.
Right. But it takes too long to play.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that with a long line of people.
And you don't want to do that to a bunch of people who come from different areas in the country.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first heard about the game cornhole,
Right.
I mean, that's a bad end to a good date, not a
or a good end to a bad date.
However you want to look at it. It's not a first time I was asked, do you want to play cornhole? I was like, dude, we're at work. I'm pretty sure we went through training where this is not, and they had a board. So like, we do it right out here in the front. They're like, wow, you guys really let your hair down here.
Because in cornhole, only one person really wins.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we had just boxes and boxes and boxes of prizes that we were giving away. I was like, are we going to go through all these? Because, I mean, there was a solid line, and the line never stopped. It just people just kept coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. And I said, what if I take these little stress ball cars and went out and just started giving them to, like I went to the other side of the speedway and started handing them out. And my boss was like, yeah, sure. Okay. Oh my God. People were losing their mind over these little race cars.
Oh yeah.
Hey, would you like a race car? Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Oh my God, please. Yes.
Yeah.
And then this one guy looks at me and goes, I have 2 kids. I'm like, okay, here's 2 cars. Wow. His eyes just got big like saucers, like he's going to start crying. He's like, thank you so much.
People lose their mind over.
There was this lady, and I said, ma'am, would you like a race car? And she says, I've been looking for one of these all day. And I thought she was going to hug me. Yeah. And these little kids were losing their mind over it. Everybody loved these race cars.
If I'd known what you were doing and where you were going, we have a bunch of poop bags out here. We could have, giving those away.
Would you like some dog poop?
Yeah.
So I must have given away 500 of those little race cars.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep them. I was like, I would go out and then I'd come back 2 minutes later wanting a new bag of race cars to give away to people. It was crazy. And then one day I was giving away Frisbees. And I walked up to this lady and I said, would you like a Frisbee? And her exact comment was, hell yeah, I want a Frisbee.
Were these full-size Frisbees or like the little full-size 100%?
Plastic Frisbees,
Damn.
yeah.
All right.
And they were losing their mind over the Frisbees. It was just really cool. And it was just really surprising how many people were like, yeah, I want a race car. Damn. And it was great because I'm telling you what, the people in Indianapolis at the Motor Speedway, all 350,000 of them that I met were the nicest people I've met in a very, very, very long time. There may have been 2 people who weren't really nice. So 998 people were amazing.
Was the race going on while you were there?
No, the race started on Sunday at noon.
Okay.
And it started coming down in buckets, the rain. So we were tearing everything down when the race was supposed to start. And we knew we weren't going to the race.
Yeah.
We all knew that we were going to do the promotional event leading up to the race.
Okay.
I left and I was home, I think, before the race started. It was on a rain delay. I don't know how long it was on a rain delay. While I was there, are you good at assembling stuff like an IKEA box?
I'm not bad.
Yeah. I've always thought that
I put that thing together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, you give me the directions. I make sure I got my Allen wrench.
Yeah.
I assembled
the S Allen wrench with the one on the end and the other thing on the other end.
Sure, sometimes. Yeah. I've assembled a few things before.
Okay.
And a couple of days before I went to Indianapolis, I put together some lawn furniture with the instructions given with the box. It ain't that hard, right?
Yeah.
So they asked me to put together this set of stairs, this little mini staircase for the people to use when playing Plinko. So the kids can climb up and put the little puck at the top and drop it. So I said, okay, no problem. I get out all the pieces. I get out all the screws. I'm reading through the directions. I read the directions at first. And it was tricky because it was labeled with a letter on the instructions but then on the side it was a number. So you had to 1, 2, 3, 4 is A, B, C, D.
Okay.
The 4 is D. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it got kind of tricky once you got into J, H, I, J, K, A, B, C, D. You know,
And then
and
the
you're
symbol
counting.
for boron.
Yeah, and you keep going back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
So I'm putting this thing together, and then I get stuck. So I put there's like the 2 main legs.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, you put east to west or right to left. You put a bar that connects these 2 legs that stand up tall. I got that fine. Then you're supposed to put 2 diagonal brackets at the top. They're diagonal.
Yeah.
Okay. The screws will not connect to the thread.
Okay.
Okay, I've got my Allen wrench. I've got them. I double checked the directions. I looked at the thing. I looked at the directions. I looked at the thing. I've got 4. That's D. That's the screw. I've got the right bracket. That's the thing. They will not go.
Okay.
They will not connect.
Yeah.
They will connect if I don't have the diagonal metal brackets on there, but they would not connect. And I'm getting very frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Hey, what happened?
I was like, I've got to be doing something. So I keep checking. And one of the guys is there and says, Darin, why don't you retrace your steps? Maybe you got something backwards. Maybe go back to the start and retrace your steps. And I'm like, I went through everything like 2 or 3 times before I got to this point. But I still retraced. This is this. That's that. That's G. 4 goes to G. This goes to that. The screws will not go in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, screw this. We're not going to use that. So I go to my next step.
Okay.
My next step is where you have to put the smaller step, hook it up to the bigger step.
Yeah.
There's no holes on the legs
Yeah.
for the screws to go through to connect the smaller step. And I said, there's no holes.
Yeah.
And they said, Darin, there has to be holes. I'm like, I know there has to be holes,
Yeah.
but there aren't any holes on this
Yeah.
to drill something into. And then they started joking, like, you know what? I think tomorrow we'll give Darin one task. I'm like, I'm going to give you one task.
Here we go. Yeah.
Okay. And then I said, Todd, get over here. Todd's like, nope, I'm not doing it. So Todd washed his hands with it. And I'm getting more and more and more frustrated. Finally, Team B comes in. One of the guys who was with me says, you know what? Let's just disassemble it and start over because
Something's off.
you've done something wrong.
You've done
No offense,
something wrong.
Something has gone wrong.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I take every screw out, take every piece apart, laid it right on the ground. Team B comes in. We grab a guy. Can you help Darin put this thing together? He says, yeah, sure. I'm kind of handy. So I'm letting him do it. He puts this to that, puts this to that. Okay, that looks good. He grabs the diagonal brackets, puts those on there, gets the A, B, C, D. That's screw number 4, puts it in there. He's, that's not wise. That's not that. This screw, it doesn't want to connect to the thread, does it?
You're in the back going, yeah.
He says, these screws are too short. The screws are too short.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yes. And he's looking at it going, what the hell? Why? How come? I think this is defective. I'm like, that's what I've been telling everybody. So he says, well, let's move on. He grabs the bottom ladder, tries to screw it on there.
Yeah.
There's no holes in this thing. That's what I've been.
Yeah.
I've never had a defective thing.
Okay.
I have had some things that are kind of tricky. Sometimes you put the wrong screw in.
Yeah.
Sometimes your first piece is backwards. Okay. Sometimes when you're putting together a bookshelf, you walk away from it. One of those shelves is upside down. We have one in our house that has an upside down shelf.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You put books on it, nobody knows. But if they ain't got no legs in it, or ain't got no holes in the legs.
Yeah.
So God, I was pissed.
So I generally...
We ended up just throwing it in the van. I think they threw it away.
So as an engineer, I have a couple of things that make those situations a little bit more intense. First is I see the directions and I'm like, oh, great. I needed something to set my beer on.
Yeah.
There. Now I'm
do you
gonna
ignore
figure
the
this thing
directions
out.
and just
No, I don't.
I'm a man and I know how to do
No,
this
I do,
shit.
but I've put enough of these things together. I generally, I just take a few glances and then I go to work on it. But occasionally you do find something that just won't line up or just won't fit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to throw any shade on the machining capabilities of Acme. But somebody,
that's where the Roadrunner and the Coyote buy all their stuff.
Somebody fell asleep at the lathe. That's all I'm saying. Somebody did something wrong. And every once in a while, I'm like, well, this isn't going to go. And that's when the old engineering pops in, and it has nothing to back it up.
Right.
I'm a chemical engineer. I'm not a structural, but it doesn't matter. You know, it comes in and says, hey, you don't really need that. You don't really need that screw to hold that piece into your kid's bed.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. We're just not going to put that in there.
Safe. It's a bunk bed. If the top part falls, it falls. It's natural selection.
All you need to do is remember that when you get to the training portion of the son.
Yeah.
When you climb up, why does the ladder stick? That's how it's going to be. It's just important that you open your eyes before you try to get out. Otherwise, that thing's going to hit you right in the face.
Right.
And then you're good. All right. Well, if you put a screw in this thing, if you did that, it would work. And we just don't have one.
Yeah. By the way, the guy who came to help me, he went and got the toolbox and got the drill and put a metal drill bit. Yeah. And he says, we're just going to make our holes.
That's what she said.
And he drills a hole.
Yeah.
He makes a hole in a thing that's already supposed to have one.
Yeah.
Right. And then he gets the screw E that's supposed to go into the, It's too short.
That's what she said.
Even with making homemade holes, the screw ain't long enough.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we tossed it. We threw it in the back of the truck, and I'm pretty sure they threw it away. I kept telling them, I said, get your money back. I think they may just throw it away.
So one of my proudest moments of home improvement that I've done, I don't improve much, but one thing that I was able to do is our router for the whole house is over there.
Right.
The computer, you know where that sits. That's connected directly to that router.
Right.
And to do that, I had to drill a hole up through the kitchen floor.
Oh, you told me behind the refrigerator.
Yeah.
You told me about that.
Yeah, if you look back there, there's 2 or 3 holes because I couldn't quite get it in the first time. But then I told Bess, I was like, hey, it's going to be a fridge here. Nobody's going to know.
Right.
And when we sell the house, who gives a at that point? I'll be so old, I won't care.
That's a selling point. If you look behind the refrigerator, there's 3 holes.
Yeah.
Put any amount of cords you want.
Well, no, I've already thought about this. If your refrigerator leaks, it's not going to ruin your kitchen floor.
No.
It'll go right down that hole
And ruin
the basement.
Yeah.
But it's near a drain. It could probably drain for 3 or 4 days before you notice it.
Yeah.
This will be safe in here. It's value added. Darin.
It is.
That's what it is.
While I was at the Indy 500, I went into the gift shop.
Every time you say Indy 500, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Every time you say that, I think of Platoon.
Why?
You know the thing? Ain't nothing like a piece of except maybe the Indy 500. You remember that, dude?
No, I don't remember that at all.
That's one of those lines that sticks out. I'm sorry. You
Okay.
can restart your segment.
You sure?
I wanted to get that out.
While I was at the Indy 500,
Yes.
I went into the gift shop and I'm looking around and I found a Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan t-shirt
Okay.
because David Letterman is co-owner of a race team. And found the shirt and I was looking around and trying to see if there's anything else that I wanted. And I really had lots of restraint because I'm like, I got to have an Indianapolis shirt and I got to get an Indy 500 hat. And I've got to get, and I was like, no, you don't, Darin. You've got like 30 hats hanging on the back of your door that you rotate and wear around, you know, because in the summer it keeps my head from getting sunburned and in the winter it keeps my head warm.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm like, so I didn't buy another hat. Plus they're really expensive. So I go up there, I'm getting ready to buy it. She asked, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. I'm tired. I'm exhausted and I stink. And so I apologize because we had been just working and sweating our balls off for 5 days.
Yeah.
And this guy works there and goes, ain't no problem. The stink is part of the experience. And I'm like, that's going to be on a shirt.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
There's these 2 fellers standing on a bridge going to the bathroom. One feller says that the water is cold. Other feller said the water is deep. I believe one feller come from Arkansas. Get it?
So we've talked about the glop.
Yes.
Yeah. The glop
I'm
party.
invited to Glop again this year.
So like 15, one of the glops like 15 years ago, maybe 20 at this point.
Yep.
They used to have it at they used to live in a trailer and then they bought property and then they were going to build their house that they live in now on top of a hill. And then the glop moved to their new house and now they rent out the trailer. But back in the day, they lived in a trailer and they had a bonfire around it. And dude is hilarious. If you come to Glop, you got to meet him. He doesn't come that often anymore. Jeff, Heil. He's absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
He's an inventor.
Oh.
He's invented things. We
Okay.
have it like a tool that he
Did he
invented.
invent the paperclip?
No.
Individual cheese slices?
No.
Hair dryer.
No. But what he did do
The
at
aglet?
this particular glop, see, glop goes in stages. At the
Okay.
very beginning, it's more of a family reunion. There's a lot of old people. Well, most of the old people are dead now, but
Right.
back in the day,
You know, we're the old people now, right?
Literally, we are. We
Yes.
talked about, we are the people we talked about 20 years ago.
Yes.
We're like, we're them now. And,
Yes.
And our kids are like what it's depressing,
It's
but that's
sad.
where it's at.
Yeah, thank you for
But anyway,
bringing that up.
The old people, it's like a reunion, then they go away. The alcohol continues to go. The bands are playing. People get crazy, and then glop gets crazier and crazier. And sometimes it spills over into the next day, which has affectionately been known as the show. Anyway, during one of these nights, it was like at midnight or so, Jeff had a stick, and he was sitting in front of the bonfire. We were all sitting around the bonfire, and there's a guy who has been to almost all the glops since the beginning named Sam. And Jeff and Sam are friends. And Jeff was hitting the ground with the stick.
With a stick.
With a stick, and he goes, Sam. When he hit the ground. And it, Sam. Now you're laughing now, but you're drinking water, and it's
Right.
like 7:45.
Oh,
imagine
3-4 beers into me?
yeah,
Yeah.
way off into the wind. I was crying. My stomach hurt. I was laughing so hard because it came out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
We were all having quiet conversations. All of a sudden, Sam. Anyway,
You see, on paper, that
it's-
shouldn't be funny.
Oh my God! It was,
Yeah.
and there's video of it somewhere. I might have it on one of these computers.
Okay.
One of the guys got up and said, "Can you stop hitting the ground with the stick?" So Jeff looked him dead in the eye. Sam, and we lost it. I fell over. Bess was in tears. We were all laughing. He was like, "No, man, I need you to stop doing that. I need you to stop hitting the ground."
Why?
Which is what I said.
Why?
And he just looked over at me and he looked back at
Sam?
Jeff,
Oh, Jeff.
and said, "You need to quit doing that." Sam. One thing about Jeff is once he knows he's got you,
Yeah.
he's going to dig.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
dig,
yeah, yeah.
which is one of the reasons I love him to death.
Yeah.
He cracks me up.
Yep.
This went on for a while until the guy started getting violent. He started yelling, "You stop!" He just started losing his mind.
Uh-huh.
Well, it turns out there was some kind of weird chemical mix-up or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know entirely what happened, but Jim came in to the thing and defused the situation. What's what Jim does? They
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
send Jim to
Jim's your brother-in-law.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. They
yeah.
need to, whatever conflict is happening in the world, they just need to send him and he'll get it all worked out. Doesn't matter. You can't be mad when Jim's around you. You just can't.
So let me get this straight. You're mad because he's hitting the ground and saying Sam.
And it made it more hilarious
Sam.
than when he got pissed off at Sam. It was already funny, but then it was even funnier that this guy was pissed. Sam. Oh. That's a moment I'll cherish.
In high school, we were at a party, and there was a girl, and she was so drunk. My God, she was the drunkest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
A person at the time.
Okay.
And she's watching the screen, the computer screensaver that's doing the pattern. It does the thing, the zig, and then it swirls, and then it flips, and then it goes upside down, and then it just it's a rainbow of colors that just keeps swirling, and she's just watch it. Finally, she passes out, and it goes on for another 20 minutes, and then my friend Sean goes, "Stop it!" I'm like, "Sean, stop what?" And all he could do was point at the screen. Stop that! So we
stopped it.
We turned off the computer.
Okay, yeah.
I said, "Sean, it's time that you go home." And somebody took Sean home.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Mr. Bubble, the bath time soap that makes getting clean as much fun as getting dirty. Now back to the show.
Really, in the past 6 months, I've had multiple situations where I'm actively talking to somebody and I'm like, I think they're stupid.
Yeah. I know what the problem is. You're an idiot.
It's not, well, it is a judgment, but it's not a vindictive thing. I'm
Right.
not mad at them because they're stupid.
Right.
It's like a trait. It's a quality that they have.
Yeah.
They have no intelligence.
Right.
They
Zero.
Yeah. I mean, there should be programs to help these people. And I think,
Well,
we have schools.
As I say, there is a program called School. Yeah, that usually helps some people.
Not these people.
This guy who I follow on the TikTok said, somebody commented that just because people go to college doesn't make them smart or educated. And he says, hold on.
Actually,
He says, I'm going to agree with you on half of that.
Yeah.
You can go to college and not be smart, but going to college and getting a degree does make you educated.
yes.
When you have that piece of paper earning the degree because your grades were at A level, you
Yes.
are educated. In July, we're going to go to San Francisco for a couple of days. We're going to Yosemite for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to Lake Tahoe, Nevada.
Okay. All right.
And so Libby has been doing all kinds of research. She is just kicking ass planning this vacation of ours. And she was reading up on things to do in Yosemite. And the thing came up of if you wanted to, rock climb. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was looking and reading about rock climbers. And she said, here we are at dinner. Did you guys know that rock climbers have to poop in a tube?
What?
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
They poop in a tube. Like they poop in a tube? She says, yeah, they have to poop in a tube. I'm like, how do you poop in a tube? She goes, I don't know, but that's what it says. And then the kid's like, he's got to poop in a tube.
I don't.
And I'm like, what? So it turns out
Yeah.
that when they hike, and by the way, this is the perfect conversation to have at the dinner table.
Yeah.
While they're climbing the rock, if they have to poop, instead of just letting it go over the side, right, which is
What I
illegal.
would do.
Okay,
Is it illegal?
It's illegal.
From the side of a
You
mountain?
cannot make poopies off the side because.
Well, then what's the point?
I know
Of
that's
even going up there.
Every kid's dream is to climb up on a rock and then poop over the side.
Dude, if I was up there and I had to poop, anybody hiking in that, you would just see my hairy ass
Good
pop
luck.
out from around the corner of the rock, and I'd aim for things.
Yeah,
Like, I'm going to hit that rock.
yeah.
Yeah.
You get one stuck in there and you have to shake and get it to drop out. Yeah, it'd be great. No, you can't do that because it hits the rocks. Then the rocks get slippery. And, yeah.
Okay.
And plus, you could hit other rock climbers.
Hey, what happened?
That makes it more exciting.
Oh, I know, especially if you don't like the people hiking
yeah.
underneath you.
Yeah.
So it turns out you have to poop in a bag.
A bag.
Right? And then you tie that off and you can put it in a poop tube that you have that you wear like across your back, like Chewbacca
Don't
has
be
that,
the- yeah.
like Chewbacca has with his thing, his pouch or whatever.
Don't ask for anybody for any Pringles when you're rock climbing. That could get
Whoops!
pretty.
I gave you something out of the wrong.
Yeah, it's not good. Or a t-shirt cannon. Put it in there and then boom, launch it over a couple of trees.
Yes, science.
But you would love it because you could just go out in your front yard with your poop
Oh
tube.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I could sling a poo.
Yeah. Is the blue bag still next
Still
to your
out
front
there.
tree? Okay.
Yeah, still out there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's like it's melding into the soil.
Yeah. But it's like I don't plan on ever using one, but I kind of want to have my own poop tube.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. The Irritable Dad Syndrome poop tube.
So
We
yeah,
could start marketing those.
we
We'll
should
sell
start
them on
marketing.
IrritableDadSyndrome.com.
Yeah.
You can buy a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a beer mug. By the way, we have super cool coffee mugs
yeah.
on our website. And then you can get an Irritable Dad Syndrome poop tube.
We can start using just old wrapping paper tubes and write Irritable Dad Syndrome poop tube on it and sell them for $50 a piece.
Oh my God, you're a genius.
Yeah.
Spray it with glossy paint.
If you want to, make it deluxe.
Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Funkaway, the odor eliminator for shoes. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I hate the smell of feet, sandals, and shoes, so I use Funkaway. Here's how it works. Spray your funky shoes. The more they stink, the more you spray. Let them air dry and live funk-free. Just don't tell George Clinton. Don't just cover up odors, eliminate them. Funkaway, it's guaranteed to work and available wherever funky products are sold. Back to you in the studio.
You want to know how old I am, Mike?
How old are you?
I'll tell you how old I am. I'm so old. A couple months ago, I saw this thing on Facebook. It was Grandpa's weed puller.
Okay.
And I got kind of excited because I looked at that and I thought,
Is it a little hooky
that looks
thing
pretty
that goes
good.
down in there?
It's the stick.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you put the stick on top of the weed and then you step on it. There's a metal contraption at the bottom of it.
Okay.
With a piece
hooky?
that the hooks out, whatever. And then you step on it and then you ratchet that stick back and it pulls the damn thing right out of the ground, root and all.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
And I was, it's like I was laying in bed and I'm just having trouble thinking, like, do I really want to buy a weed puller? Like, yeah, I do want to buy a weed puller. I think I'll be the envy of all my neighbors.
Yeah, you will be.
Yeah, Chris Michael will be like, damn, I wish I had Darin's grandpa weed puller.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm old enough now. I mean, I don't have grandkids, but I'm 53. I'm old enough to have a weed puller.
What you
Grandpa's
can do,
weed puller.
since it pulls out the root and everything, you can pull all the weeds from your yard in the middle of the night, go over and plant them in Chris Michael's yard.
I could just throw them over in his yard. Yeah. Why would I plant them?
To make sure they take root and really cause some issues.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I like them. You could do that because you don't like them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let me know when they're not going to be home.
Whenever they're not home, I always go over there and let out Sadie.
Okay.
So they were going to be gone, and they needed me to let Sadie out.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. So Libby and Jacob said that they would go over and let out Sadie.
Mm-hmm.
And they go over there, and Chris has an alarm, and this is his code to his house. I'm kidding.
Is that actually it?
How did you know?
You might want to change that, Chris. Is that really it? Dude, if that's it, I should win something. He should give me something from his house.
I think it's close.
I might go over there and take something if that's the code.
I think it's
Get
close.
surprised the out of them. Wait till they go out to dinner or something and just be sitting at their kitchen table when they come back.
But he gave them the code, and we got the key to get into the house. And so Libby and Jacob went over there knowing that when they get in there, they've got so many seconds to turn off the code before it alarms. And then the police get the thing. So they get in there. They have no idea where the box is. They're both looking all over the wall, thinking that it's attached to the wall, like in the movies.
Yeah.
And Jacob goes one direction looking for it. Libby goes another direction looking for it. Sadie's jumping, spinning around in circles like, somebody's here, somebody's here, somebody's come to see me. And I get to go outside, and I get to play, and I get to poop, and I get to pee, and somebody's here to see me. And she's jumping and barking and everything. And so Jacob goes this direction, Libby goes this direction. They turn around. Run right into each other. The alarm stops.
Yeah.
She called Chris, and Chris is like, I turned off the alarm. And then she was mad at me.
So,
why didn't you tell me where the alarm was?
Where is the alarm?
It's on his desk when you walk in.
Okay.
I'm like, why didn't you follow the noise?
Yeah.
That's where the noise is coming from. Just follow the noise.
Yeah.
And then you can see the little light. Just follow the light, follow the noise.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was my fault because I didn't tell her where the alarm was. Well, guys, we've ran out of things to say, so we're going to go. If you liked last week's episode, I want you to know that thing was edited twice. I was editing that, part of it while I was in Indianapolis. I had some time to kill, and I'm just in my hotel room putting that son of a bitch together, having a good old time. Brought the computer home, opened it up, and I started doing some more with it, and it crashed, and it totally disappeared. Everything went away, and I could have swore that I'd saved it, and I looked everywhere. And anyway, so I just went and restarted it, and I re-edited it. So last week's episode about Southern culture on the skids, that thing was edited twice. Goodfellas. Oh, man, I listened to you talk about Goodfellas and The Godfather way longer than I ever imagined I would. So I hope you guys like that episode. Yeah, that was edited twice. Guys, we're going to go to IrritableDadSyndrome.com. Check out our patron section. Check out our merch section. It's never too soon to buy somebody a gift for Christmas.
It's somebody's birthday somewhere.
So, yeah. Somebody's going to have an anniversary, a birthday. July 4th is coming up.
It is.
Yeah.
Buy a July 4th.
July 4th coffee mug from Irritable Dad Syndrome.
We're going to see Hootie. We're going to be talking about Hootie.
Yes, we're going to see. Yeah.
That's next Friday.
I know. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a guy that I know that's going there that got into a fight with Hootie and got banned, got blocked on Twitter.
Like an argument or a fist fight?
An argument.
Oh, okay.
And Hootie blocked him.
Darius Rucker?
Yeah, Darius.
Okay.
Mr. Hootie.
Mr. Rucker.
Or Mr. Blowfish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's the proper. Yeah.
Oh, so what did he say?
He told me. I can't remember.
Okay. Well, that's a great story. I'm glad you brought that up, Mike. Guys, we're going to go. We'll see you next time on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darin Cox production.
Oh, my coccyx hurts. That's part of what's... I'm distracted because my coccyx is in pain.
You say that every week, and you never bring down your
I know. I was in the middle... When you were talking about
Coccyx
the Indy 500 thing, I was thinking about, I should go up and get the pillow. And then I thought, I'll break up the rhythm of the show, and then it'll just fall flat.
Yeah.
And then the show just, it's like the...
I asked this guy, I said, hey, do you want a race car for the kids? He goes, no. I said, do you want one for the kid and you? And he looks at me and I said, come on.
Yeah.
You know. And I went,
Oh, God.
well, yeah. And he says,
And he took it.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was giving away canned koozies.
Uh-huh.
And I asked this lady, I said, would you like a koozie? And she goes, no, thank you. And I said, what, are you trying to quit? So you had the 3-day weekend jiggers, right?
What'd you call me?
That's the warm-up.
Get it all out.
That was our warm-up. We're our own warm-up act tonight.
Sam.